We've seen some amazing things, but that, my friends, is something we've never seen.
Brandon Cruz Months Advice.
Brandon Cruz Months Advice.
Brandon Months Advice.
Brandon Cruz Months Advice. You just locked yourself into the playoffs.
Nice.
Got it.
Talk with old Brandon Cruz Months Advice.
Completely speechless, to say the least.
Man, I am honestly so baffled by that decision. Brandon Cruz Months Advice. It's Brandon Months Advice.
Green flag in the air. Brandon Cruz Months Advice to the front.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Brandon Cruz Daily Fantasy Podcast. Thank you for coming in and checking this out. If this is your first time here, welcome. If it's not, well then thanks for coming back. This is the episode for the Pennzoil 400, and you might be wondering, why am I way quieter than normal? Well, it is 2 o'clock here in Lubbock. My girlfriend is sleeping once again, but I can be at least a bit more quiet. I got the air going on, so I won't have to whisper as bad. But so for those of you that don't know, I barely got back into town Friday night. I barely had time to research for the Xfinity stuff, and I've spent like the last 6 hours coming up with lineups and game theories and things of that nature. I'm all hopped up on heroin and Mountain Dew, as I always say, and I'm pretty much getting all my stuff out of the way this morning. I'm just going to go to bed, probably wake up like at 8, grab some donuts for breakfast or something, and just watch the race. So I'm getting everything out of the way right here, and I have my notes for this podcast all ready to go. We are a minute into it, so here we go. This is the Sin City Aero Push 400 in my opinion, because that's all it's going to be. First, let me talk about this aero package right here. This is a bunch of fucking retarded bullshit. I mean, this is the worst thing that NASCAR could have done. It is absolutely horrible. Like it's not driver skill. It's just dirty air fucking up the people behind the leader. That's literally what it is. The leader. The only reason people said it was a good race last weekend is because second place was close to passing first place coming to the checkered, but that's literally because Keselowski was worried about blowing a fucking tire. Like it's not a good package, and all the racing is happening in mid-pack, like I predicted earlier in the season. It's not up by the leader. It's mid-pack and everything. So I mean it's just not. This is not racing, guys. It's just drafting. That's all it is. Like you saw it in qualifying. That's how it's going to be. Like it doesn't matter how good your car is, just as long as you can get a good draft. It's just, I don't know. I'm very anal about it. I don't like it at all. And then I'll get this out of the way right fast. I'm not here to tell you who you should pick, okay? You should already know who your dominator is. You should already know, like, the drivers that you like. I am just here to put another opinion out there, to just put, like, another game theory, another way of looking at it. That's all I do in these videos, okay? So let's get that out of the way right there. So we got 267 laps. I have 3 tiers right now that I'm looking at. So I got pure talent, I got practice speeds, and I got punts and shocks that I'm gonna cover. I'm not gonna do what I did last year, where I go over each individual starting position and car, because I feel this year is a bit different. I feel like I'm gonna go at it a different way. So just bear with me. If you want me to do it a different way, like go back to how I was doing it last year, let me know. Or if you want to know anything specifically, let me know. I do have one question that was asked to me, and I'll get to that at the video, and it's who I like, but or who I like to win, so we'll get to that at the end. But pure talent entering this weekend. I am in love with Denny Hamlin. Don't ask me why, don't ask me how. I just really, really like Denny Hamlin. I like how he races. I like his attitude, and I like his driving style paired with this package. It's perfect for a guy like him that's aggressive and that knows the draft, that can feel the draft, and that can race well. It's a damn shame he's starting second. But I love Denny Hamlin. I really, really do. And I'll talk more about him later. But then another pure talent, Kyle Busch, 1, because it's Kyle Busch, and 2, he's going for the sweep for the weekend. He's great at this track. He loves this track. It's his home track and all that. Kyle Busch is a real competitor to win the race. I don't expect him to lead a lot of laps, but I expect him to easily be a dominator in this race. And then I like Brad Keselowski. He proved last week that he can win with this package. He knows what he's doing. Keselowski and Joey Logano both are great, just pure talent drivers, and I think the draft is going to help him tremendously with this aero package. Going on to the next one, it's Kevin Harvick. He's great at 1 miles anyway, and I'm going to pair him in this category with Martin Truex Jr., I don't see a difference between these two drivers. They're the same driver on these 1.5 mile tracks, so Truex and Harvick. They're just good. And then I really like Chase Elliott. Going back to what I said about Denny Hamlin, about how his driving style and how aggressive he races really helps at these types of tracks. I really like Chase Elliott here. And so those are just my favorites entering the race on pure talent. The 11, 18, 2, 22, 4, 9, and 19. Okay, then going on to practice speeds. This is my note on practice speeds. They don't mean jack shit. This is closer to a super speedway. This is closer to a super speedway than we have ever been in the Cup Series. I'm just going to be trusting a driver. I'm going to be trusting driver talent and how they drive way more than practice speeds, because they were just drafting like crazy in practice, and so I'm not even really worried about practice speeds at all. I mean, I'll take an aggressive driver over a conservative driver in this type of race any day. Okay, so now let me go back to the punts and chucks. So like I said, I'm not here to tell you who to pick. You should already have your dominator set out. That's either like Harvick, Hamlin, the 19, the 18, and not just those guys, but you should have like your base drivers set up. I'm looking at how to get off the higher owned drivers. So right now the punts, the three cheap punts that I'm looking at right now are Matt Tiff, who is at 5,600, just because I think he's going to get better. I think he's at least a top 30 car. I think he's starting in a situation where he shouldn't lose you any points. And then same with Parker Kligerman, but I'm picking Kligerman just based on competence. He knows what he's doing. He's not stupid. He just needs shit to go his way. Ross Chastain is the guy that I really like. It's a damn shame he's at 5,500. I was hoping he'd be a bit lower, but Ross Chastain, he starts dead fucking last. DFL, man. And I believe he can finish 29th without any wrecks or without any problems from other drivers. And so, I like him, and there's only 38 cars in this race. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, there's like no one left in this series. Like, no one is showing up. It's ridiculous. They need to do something to get cars back in this series. And then moving on, let me get there next to my next page. Okay, so moving on to chalk. So this is So those are my lower owned punts, just like the bottom of the barrel, like price rise and all that stuff. But the chalk this week is going to be, I think, the highest owned driver from where he's starting is going to be Martin Truex Jr. And then I think it's going to be Ryan Newman, because Ryan Newman is starting far in the back and he's cheap. And then it's going to go 4, Kurt Busch, Almirola, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, and Clint Boyer. I think those are going to be your chalks, and in that order that I just said. So 19 is going to be the highest owned, followed by the 6 car. So what we want to do is we want to get off the chalk. So we can go with Chris Buescher, we can go with Matt DiBenedetto, and who I'm really liking is Ryan Preece, because he went down in price on DraftKings, even though he had a bad run last week, but he shouldn't be priced down. He's racing way better than he should be, and people are starting to talk about him. There's a couple other sites that are starting to talk about Ryan Preece. I'm getting really mad about that, because I've been banging on Ryan Preece these other weeks, and he just, unfortunately, he keeps having things happen to him. But a lot of people are starting to realize, like, hey, Ryan Preece is a real contender, so we got to worry about that now. But I really like Ryan Preece. And then we got William Byron, Eric Jones. I think Eric Jones is going to be a bit under-owned this week, just compared to how he usually is. I think everyone's going to be putting so many guys in different places. They're going to be going with Eric Jones a lot, and I think this is a week that we can jump on Eric Jones. Sorry, I didn't mean to just blow the mic out there. I think this is a week that we can really hop on Eric Jones and take advantage of that. And then Joey Logano is also another guy that I think is going to be really under-owned compared to how he usually is, and we need to take advantage of that. We need to get these guys when they are low-owned, and so Chris Buescher, DiBenedetto, Ryan Preece, William Byron, Eric Jones, and Joey Logano are going to be guys that I believe that are going to be lower owned compared to how they usually are in the season, and they are ways to get off of the chalky plays. And so that is my rundown, and you'll notice that this video is a way shorter one. It's because I have to be quiet, so I can't just go on my massive rants, even though I will go on one in a second. But we need to see how this aero package plays out, because if anyone's out there telling you exactly how this race is going to go, they're full of shit. Like, let's be honest. If you're paying if you're listening right now and you're paying for someone, not for spreadsheets, but if you're paying for picks off of like a big website, I'm not going to name any websites, but if you're paying for picks off of a website and they're like, they guarantee you this guy's going to win, or they guarantee you this, like you need to unsubscribe right now. They have no idea what they're talking about, and this is going to be a shit show tomorrow. I think we're going to have two big ones. One's going to be in the entry of 1, and one's going to be on the exit of 4. It's going to happen just like it happened today in the Xfinity race with like 3 to go on the first green white checkered. There's going to be a big one out of 4 and a big one entering 1, and it's going to be huge. Like I think the time, like I think it was like Dale Earnhardt Jr. turned like the Brian Vickers back in the day when he was in the 25, like a huge accident on turn 1. So that's my opinion. And then like, okay, so let me just say this right now. Let me just say this right now. Like I was just saying, like my podcast, this one's a bit shorter, and usually my podcast runs from anywhere 20 minutes to 30 minutes, and I think that's usually good enough if I have more information that I want to talk about, if I want to share more things. I think that's fine. What is up with some of these guys having like 4-hour podcasts, dude? Like what is that? Who has time to listen to someone rant for 4 hours? Like I don't get that at all. And then like another thing, so like if you follow me on Twitter, I always type out like a thank you, like, hey, I appreciate you following me, hey, I appreciate you like just listening to my stuff, I really do. And a lot of guys that I talk with through messaging, like a lot of guys know, like, hey, I'm friendly, I'm gonna be there. Well, like if I had one person answer, and they were like, I think I sent them like, hey, thanks for following me, I really appreciate it. And then they just answered with, yo, hit me up with one. I'm like, excuse me? I don't know. I don't mean to get mad. It's just like, whoa, that is not. And this is someone who's trying to grow their site. Like, the best way to get people to go to your site is to be friends with them. Like I'm not following you, and I'm not supporting you because you're being a dick. If I wanted to follow you, I would follow you. If I wanted to follow you, it's because I would like your content. I don't like your content, but I'm not going to tell you that. I'm just going to not respond to you. So whatever. And then I just went blank. Who asked the question earlier? I got to go back to Twitter and let me get there. It is, they asked me, who do I like for the race? Steve Bowen. I appreciate you following me and tweeting at me and asking my question. I know I'm answering 14 hours later, but who do I like to win tomorrow's race? Man, I like Kevin Harvick. I like Kyle Busch. I like the 19, but I'm telling you, man, I love Denny Hamlin in this situation. Don't ask me why, but somehow I've been picking like guys who have been doing really good in my podcast, just guys I have a feeling for, and things that I have a feeling for. I mean, like just for example, like Natalie Decker. I made a joke when the truck season started, like over under, like when is Natalie Decker going to DNF in this truck race, and she had a problem on the first lap, and then I knew Corey Roper would do something stupid this last week, and I said I really liked Hamlin at Daytona. I didn't pick him to win, but man, I really liked him, and this is just another one of those feelings where I feel like I'm just gonna trust my gut, and I'll probably be over-owned on Denny Hamlin compared to the rest of the field, but that's fine with me. So I really like Denny Hamlin this week, and starting second. I don't know if he can lead laps, but I think he can be there at the end to win the race, and that's really all that matters. So guys, thank you so much for listening to this. I'm gonna try and get it up. It should be up, I don't know, like 4 a.m. Eastern time or something like that. So you have plenty of time to listen before the race tomorrow. And thank you guys for listening. Please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Twitter. I'll be happy to help you out. I'll be happy to text you. I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys might have. And if you're from Reddit, let me know if you made it this far. I'm going to try and be better on Reddit. Usually I just post a video or like a thread that no one ever uses, so I'm going to end up texting more or typing more of this into the text. So thank you guys if you came from Reddit, and you guys have a fantastic day. Good luck today in the race, and don't get married to your money, guys. Just have fun. Good luck, and thanks for listening.